Ferrari's 2026 engine just leaked, and the real shock isn't the horsepower, it's what they sacrificed to get it. Why would the most iconic team in Formula One willingly give up top speed in exchange for something every rival has overlooked? You're about to see the power figures that have stunned the paddock and how Ferrari's radical low-inertia design could be the most underestimated gamble of the next era. And here's the twist. If this data is accurate, Ferrari may have just outsmarted Red Bull without anyone realizing it yet. The leak didn't come from a mechanic, a journalist, or a rival team. It came from deep inside Ferrari's simulation division, a technical report showing real-world dyno outputs and performance maps for their 2026 power unit. What it revealed stunned the few insiders who saw it. Ferrari's engine, expected to be a raw power monster, is instead showing output numbers below projections. But that's not the shocking part. The real twist is that it's deliberate. Ferrari has chosen to reduce peak horsepower in favor of delivering incredibly stable and repeatable torque bands, optimized for corner exits and energy recovery efficiency. It's a total rejection of the conventional straight-line speed arms race, and it suggests Ferrari is betting everything on agility and control. At the core of this philosophy is their decision to stick with a traditional compact turbo layout. While Mercedes, Red Bull, Ford, and Honda have committed to a split-turbo configuration separating the compressor and turbine to optimize airflow, and packaging Ferrari is going against the grain. Their engineers believe that by refining their existing turbo geometry and integrating it seamlessly with the new combustion chamber design, they can achieve faster throttle response and better thermal stability. On paper, this could allow them to rotate the car faster in corners, carry more minimum speed, and extract more consistent lap time, especially on tracks with high directional change like Hungary, Singapore, and Zandvoort. But there's a massive risk. In a regulation era that reduces internal combustion contribution to just 50% of total power, the electric deployment system becomes even more important. Ferrari's leaked maps suggest they've built a system with smoother but slightly lower electric peak output than rivals. The theory? Less stress on battery cells means less thermal degradation and more laps of consistent performance. However, in qualifying trim or during aggressive overtakes, this might leave them exposed. Red Bull's override strategies, Mercedes' dual cooling loops, and Honda's rumored thermologic system all seem more aggressive on paper. So the big question is, can Ferrari's engine keep up when it counts most on the straights, in DRS zones, and during race start launches? Here's where it gets even more fascinating. Lewis Hamilton is said to be directly involved in shaping how this power unit is used. While not an engineer, Hamilton's input during early simulator runs has reportedly influenced how the car deploys energy mid-corner. Unlike Charles Leclerc, who prefers sharper initial throttle maps, Hamilton has pushed for smoother torque curves to protect rear tire degradation and maximize traction off slower corners. This difference in driving style could lead to two radically different energy profiles for the same car, a strategic nightmare for rivals trying to predict Ferrari's behavior on track. And it could give Ferrari a unique tactical edge over a full race distance. Ferrari is also doubling down on combustion innovation. According to the leak, they've developed a new low turbulence chamber that allows for ultra-lean burning at high load without sacrificing ignition stability. This is paired with a proprietary fuel blend developed with Shell, designed to deliver maximum power per gram while maintaining exhaust temperatures within regulatory bounds. The result? A cleaner, more efficient combustion cycle that prioritizes sustained performance over peak figures. It's subtle, it's not headline-grabbing, but it's exactly the kind of marginal gain that wins championships over the course of 24 races. Yet not everyone in the paddock is convinced. Some rivals view Ferrari's direction as conservative too cautious in a regulation window that rewards boldness. Red Bull insiders reportedly believe that Ferrari is underestimating just how aggressive the 2026 electric deployment race will become. Mercedes, with their deep hybrid experience, are quietly confident they'll out-deploy everyone in high-pressure moments. If Ferrari's engine can't punch back when it's 3 wide at Monza or chasing a final lap overtake in Baku, all that cornering genius might mean nothing. This is the fundamental gamble. Ferrari is trading power for poise. And in Formula One, poise doesn't always win races. But here's what makes this leak truly explosive. The numbers suggest that Ferrari knows they're down on power, and they're fine with it. That means this isn't a mistake. It's a master plan, a philosophical split from Red Bull's brute force style. A bet that by sacrificing short-term top-end speed, they'll dominate the medium-speed corners, the traction zones, the places where real lap time hides. And with Hamilton steering that vision alongside Leclerc, Ferrari is no longer just building a fast car. They're building a car tailored for two of the most complex, contrasting driving styles on the grid. The question is, will that be enough to beat the next wave of hybrid monsters? Inside Maranello, this power unit philosophy is causing quiet division. Not open rebellion, but a clash of visions between departments. On one side, the engine division believes the consistent, efficient hybrid approach will serve Ferrari across the widest range of circuits. On the other, aero and chassis engineers are concerned that this trade-off in peak power may box them into a specific performance window. If they sacrifice top-end grunt for balance and reliability, what happens at power-dominated tracks like Spa, Monza, or even Silverstone? If the numbers leaked are real, Ferrari's engineers may have built an engine that thrives in twisty circuits but bleeds time on long straights. That makes them strategically vulnerable in championship fights, where every point matters, not just on high downforce Sundays. This raises a crucial dilemma for Fred Vasseur and the senior leadership team. Do you trust the long game of efficiency, or do you course correct toward aggressive power development and risk instability? It's a fundamental philosophical divide. Ferrari's legacy is built on power V12s, screaming turbos, unbeatable launches. But this new engine approach breaks from that tradition. It's about control, data harmonization, and smooth integration with advanced traction algorithms. It's more Mercedes in style than Red Bull in instinct. And for some at Ferrari, that's uncomfortable. Tradition weighs heavily in Maranello, and this project challenges decades of engineering culture. Even with Hamilton's support, internal politics could still sabotage the full commitment this engine philosophy requires. Meanwhile, in the simulator rooms, the performance picture is becoming clearer. Early tests suggest that Ferrari's 2026 concept may deliver lap time through energy conservation and stability, rather than explosive acceleration. This puts a premium on racecraft, tire management, and strategy execution. It also means Ferrari must extract perfection in qualifying setups, because overtaking may be harder without brute force deployment. The team is banking on consistency over chaos, but Formula One rarely follows a script. If races become unpredictable safety cars, late, wet stints, red flags, Ferrari's carefully calculated balance may not deliver the urgent power spikes needed to capitalize. And in modern F1, it's often those chaotic moments that decide titles. That's where Hamilton's influence becomes even more critical. His mastery of tire life, race management, and positioning under pressure aligns perfectly with this engine's strengths. He doesn't need explosive top-end power to win, he needs traction, predictability, and energy he can control. Ferrari's leak maps show power delivery curves that are far less aggressive than Red Bull's sharp, peak-focused deployment. That's not by accident. Hamilton has reportedly been involved in defining the torque ramp-up profiles, ensuring smoother exits and fewer traction losses under load. It's a subtle weapon, but in the hands of a driver who can extract it, it could turn strategy-heavy races into masterclasses. But the flip side? If the car isn't fast enough to fight at the front, even Hamilton's brilliance may not be enough. Charles Leclerc, meanwhile, faces a different challenge. His natural style favors sharper front-end rotation and rapid throttle application, which contrasts with the new power unit's more progressive delivery. This could lead to internal divergence in car setup, software mapping, and even race strategies. Two drivers in one team, driving essentially two different cars in terms of energy usage, is a logistical nightmare. But it also creates an opportunity. If Ferrari can tailor each side of the garage to the strengths of its drivers, they may gain flexibility in race execution, defending and attacking with two very different tactical weapons. Or it could fracture the team into two competing philosophies, undermining unity just when Ferrari needs to move as one. Beyond the cockpit, the rest of the grid is watching closely. Rivals have already seen the leaked figures, and the early paddock consensus is divided. Some believe Ferrari is setting themselves up to dominate long, high-degradation races where control matters most. Others think they're doomed to be swallowed whole on high-speed straights and in wheel-to-wheel battles. Mercedes, with their dual-deployment architecture, are said to be aiming for the best of both worlds. Red Bull, meanwhile, appear to be doubling down on peak performance, betting that any efficiency deficit can be covered by superior aero and DRS exploitation. Ferrari, in contrast, seems to be playing chess while others play poker. It's a bold move, but if it fails, it could look like a complete misread of the regulation intent. And that brings us to the most important unknown of all. How will this engine evolve between now and the first race of 2026? Development isn't frozen. Ferrari could still push more power, revise turbo configurations, or unlock new battery deployment strategies. But doing so risks destabilizing what they've already built. They've committed to a concept, and deviating now could cost them more than it gains. The leaked data gives us a snapshot, not a final product. But that snapshot reveals a team that's betting on the margins, betting on control, sustainability, and a perfectly balanced equation. Whether that wins them races or costs them everything will depend on what the rest of the grid brings to the table. Because in 2026, it's not just about who's fastest, it's about who saw the future clearest.